Hello, or hola, as they say here in Majorca. Yes, Majorca, the Spanish island in the middle of the Mediterranean. I've come here for a week's holiday and a bit of sunshine just to get away from the grimness of the British winter. Though having said that, the forecast here in the next couple of days is torrential rain, so it'll be just like being at home. Now, I am not really a travel vlogger, not in the style of the proper travel vloggers, but I thought while I'm here, and while there is beach and sea and a load of big boats, and I like big boats and I cannot lie, I thought what I might do is take you with me as we walk along the promenade, around the bay, whatever you want to call it, and just peer at the boats. That is where we're going to walk to. You can see one cruise ship over there, that's where they dock. And then as you come round, there's just loads and loads of boats, big and small. You can see one massive one docked there. And there's hordes. So let's go and have a look. Not something you get at most traffic lights. I do appreciate that that is not a boat, but I cannot possibly walk along the promenade past Palma Cathedral without including it. Look at that fabulous reflection. There you go, there's a tenuous water link, there's a water feature below it. What a fantastic reflection. Isn't that just the most amazing building? And the one next to it is, I believe, a historic royal palace. Again, not a boat, but I thought it was nice to show. Up here seems to be where the cruise ships undock all their passengers from the buses. So the cruise ships themselves dock over there, and then they bring all the passengers by bus down to here for the centre of Palma. And there's not a lot to see boating-wise on this side. It's a little jutting out bit of land, but go through those buildings and there's boats. Just cutting through and you find this absolutely fantastic sundial. Look at this. It's huge. Boats, which quite rightly look to be behind a giant fence. Oi, oi, oi. Oh yeah, this is where the boats are. If I had a giant boat here, I'd want a fence-keeping muggins like me out as well. We may not be able to get through the fence, but we can peer over it from up there. There's the end of the fence. And there's the big boats. Just when you think, oh, maybe I can get to these ones. Ah, no, there is actually, as you can see, a glass wall between us and them. I have a suspicion these may be charter boats. I don't know why I'm thinking that. I just have a suspicion. Well, rather spectacular, though. And if I'm honest, SOS seems like a debatable name for a boat if the time ever comes to contact the Coast Guard. Also nothing to do with boats, but there's this bit of random train track, which I'm guessing is some historic remnant of when goods wagons came along here or something to unload. That's a wild and speculative guess. We have stairs up to the viewing platform. Well, well, well. Hashtag boat porn. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Wish we could see it better. The one next to it needs to move out of the way. And when I was up here a couple of days ago, I saw them loading vast crates of wine onto that boat. It's quite the mix of boats. Those obviously are the little ones. That's pretty, isn't it? Once more, I can't walk along this bit as a security fence precludes access. But we'll carry on, there's loads more marinas. These seem to be the working boats, fishing boats. And again, I can't get to them. I'd quite like to have a good poke round some of those. I have found a yacht brokerage. Let's see what I can get a boat for. 430,000 euro. 660 euro. 1,000, obviously. Oh, that's a million. 1.2 million for that. And 1.7 million if you fancy one of those. That's the cheapest one I've spotted, a Beneteau Flyer 6 Sun Deck for 45,000 euros. Built in 2021. I think we can safely assume for the moment that I don't have the funds for any of those. Hang on, did I mention there are a few more boats around here? My friend Nick Burnham from the Aquaholic channel says if you're floating, you're boating. It doesn't matter how big your boat is really, you can have fun in anything, and these look like fun. I could happily bob about in the sun on one of those. I'm not a cyclist, but I really do appreciate the way here they have dedicated cycle lane, which is on the right, and a dedicated pedestrian lane. It's all very clear. Will you just look at all the masts? That's not a bad view back, is it, with the cathedral in the distance? How marvellous it would be to have a boat here you could just come down and bob about in on a sunny day. If I can be critical for a moment, Palma does get a lot less attractive here with the built-up apartment blocks, which I'm sure have a lovely view and a price tag to match, but they're not very pretty to look at. You know, I miss that engine sound and the gentle smell of diesel. It is exceedingly hot. I'm going to visit the mini market for a drink and possibly an ice cream. The mini market is closed. I know it's Sunday, but it's blazingly hot and there's everybody out on the promenade. Why is it closed? The frozen yogurt shop is closed as well. Aha, open. Perfect. At this end of the promenade, I think we find the day trip and hire boats, because this one at least has a sign in it saying it's for charter. And I have a feeling the ones slightly further over are day trip boats as well. Flipper here is quite clearly a passenger boat for trips around the bay. Unfortunately, since this is early February, none of them seem to be open for business. There's nobody selling tickets, there's no one touting tickets, no ticket office that I can see, nobody on board the boats. Otherwise I'd take a trip round the bay and bring you with me, but I don't think I can. These are definitely day boats and party boats and hire boats. Will you look at the size of that catamaran? That thing is vast. You know, I said there are some big boats down here. I think we just found the big boat marina. It is just very pleasant here. In theory, the temperature today is about 17 Celsius, but it feels so much warmer with the sun beating down. And just ambling along the promenade, looking at the boats. It's glorious, it really is. This must become my new winter ritual, I think. This is most definitely Marina del Bighorn. You know what amuses me about this? There's absolutely nothing to stop any pedestrian just falling over the edge into the water. Pretty sure back in Britain we'd have to have health and safety railings and big notices and lifeguards on duty and everything. Here, no, you can just fall in if you want to. There's a fish. You know, it occurs to me that I could scurry up one of these ropes and steal the boat. Slight snag being I don't know how to sail. And you know, I wouldn't even have to scurry up the ropes of this one. I could just jump aboard from the promenade. Should we give it a try? Forget everything I said before. This is where the big boats hang out. I'll take two. Unfortunately, beyond this point, you don't really get to see a lot. The pavement continues, but you can't see a lot in the way of boats, so this really is the end of the tour. What I will give you is one last look back at Palma and the bay and all the boats. The wind has picked up, but it's still a glorious day. I think I might go and have a nap in the sun. Cheerio.